Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Yes, we continue the Jota watch today. That's what this channel has become. It's just constant updates on the whereabouts of Jota. I seen a tweet earlier comparing him to Phileas Fogg. He's a man who's been around the world in 80 days, it seems. But it looks as though he's set to return from his holidays. And does that mean that he is almost here? Does that mean he's going to complete his move to Celtic this coming week? Well, we're going to talk about that amongst a few other things in today's video. I had the weekend off, you'll notice. There was not a lot to speak about. So it's only natural that we start the week talking about Jota again. As always, before we go any further with the video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Apologies for the absence at the weekend, and apologies for the upcoming absence. If you haven't heard or you don't know, I will be taking Thursday to Sunday off this week. I'm heading to Poland. I'm going to be on my holidays for a few days, so I'll probably not be making any videos. Unless something huge happens, then I'll whip out the camera phone and we'll do something, but for now there isn't anything scheduled. But until then, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there will be content for you. So Jota, let's talk about him. It's the reason that we're here for this video. It's an update on him. As I said, I feel like this channel is suddenly just becoming the watching of Jota, or trying to spectate him and see where he is and see when he's going to be joining Celtic. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. The record we're reporting this morning, and no, not the Daily Record, not the Daily Record, the record over in Portugal. A Portuguese outlet have reported that Jota's move to Celtic could be complete by the end of the week. He has returned from his holidays. He is ready to now move on with the business and get things done. And it looks as though the transfer to Celtic could be finished by the end of this week sometime, hopefully as early as possible. I can't be bothered hanging on because that's what's been happening so far. People have been getting sceptical. I've seen a lot of people in my comments section, for example, getting worried, saying, should we move on and focus on other targets? Does he really want to be here? Of course he wants to be here. I think that everything indicates that Jota wants to be here. The man's been on his holidays. He's been enjoying his summer. And listen, I don't want to speak too soon and touch wood. None of this comes back to slap me in the face. But it feels like a guy that has shown how much he wants to be here. And his celebrations and his time at the club. The fact he's over in New York wearing a Celtic shirt. You know, I feel like everything just indicates that he wants to be here. So, I've never once sat down and considered, does he really want to be here? That should we be dragging this on as long as we have? At the end of the day, his loan contract doesn't expire for another, as of recording, 10 days. So we've still got 10 days technically till, the worry had to set in. We've just been taking our time with it. I imagine there's been a lot of negotiation between the two clubs, between the player, the agent, and the club itself. There's a lot that goes into this. And I think one thing that really didn't help with the situation and help with the anxiety was the fact that Cameron Carter-Vickers is over the line. We got that done and dusted. The contract has been signed. He is now officially a Celtic player. And I think when that happened last Friday, I think a lot of people thought Jota was going to be very quickly next. I think people were thinking, okay, maybe we'll get him on the Monday, maybe we'll get him on a Tuesday, and then that dragged on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now we're sitting here the following Monday, and he's still not officially a Celtic player. And I think that the signing of Cameron Carter-Vickers probably had people thinking that he could have been through the door very, very quick. So we're still waiting. Things are looking good. Let's have a look at another couple of things that are said in the article. I think the rumoured fee is, of course, that one we know about, £6.5 million. Not entirely sure if there'll be any add-ons or incentives to go alongside that. That seems to be the number that's been thrown around, and they are saying it should be done in the coming days. Contract discussions are almost certainly finished and things are ready to go. So very exciting news. It's a good update to get. I'm kind of fed up of talking about it, I must admit. I just want to see him through the door. I think we all do. That's ultimately what we want. But we've won the battle. There are two players, him and Carter-Vickers, who we knew we had to sign, and it seems that we've started the window by doing that. Obviously fresh faces to join alongside them, but let's see what happens over the next few days. Of course, these articles, you've got to take them with a pinch of salt. We've heard this numerous times now. That's the thing, and that's why I don't like getting my hopes up, because we've had so many articles where it's been Jota will sign this week, Jota will sign next week, contract discussions are done, and nothing has happened. That's the way it's went so many times. However, I really do feel like with this one, there's a bit of substance to it. He is back. He's ready to go. I feel like this is probably the week for him signing. If I was to put my money on it, it would be this week. So let's see what happens. Hopefully so. Keep the heat, as some would say. Alexandro Bernabei, we spoke about him. I still don't know if it's Bernabei or Bernabei. It's certainly not Bernabeu. But we spoke about him on the channel. Of course, we've done our Celtic transfer talk where we looked at him and the player himself and spoke about his qualities, his attributes. If you haven't seen that, then it'll be on the channel for you to go and watch. But his transfer to Celtic has had a little bit of an update. And once again, articles, you've got to take them with a pinch of salt and everything like that. Yesterday, the Daily Record was reporting that he was hours away from a move to Celtic. It's currently, I think, 24 hours on, and that transfer hasn't happened. In fact, in that time, I think that he has actually played football, and in that time, he's been sent off. Yeah, he's played and been sent off. And apparently he was hours away from joining Celtic. Very contrasting things happening. Now, this came as a surprise itself because that same article that was reporting that he was going to be joining Celtic in a few hours' time also suggested that he wouldn't be playing in Lannis's game last night, which he did. He wasn't playing in the 2 games prior to that. So I think this could have been some sort of farewell sort of game for him. A last dance, you could say, in front of his current set of fans. And it did not go to plan. It didn't go to plan in the slightest. In fact, probably the worst sort of farewell he could have asked for. So in Lannis's game against Cologne last night, he was sent off not just for a bad tackle or a cumulative yellow cards or anything like that, for headbutting an opponent. For headbutting an opponent, yep. He Zidaned someone. Gone. Red card. Yep. I honestly thought it was a wind-up when I was sitting in the pub. I was watching the F1 last night out in the pub, and I just seen, he's been sent off. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. So some farewell. To be fair, it reminds me an awful lot of the Charlie Mulgrew, Kyle Lafferty incident from years ago. It looks as though the guy goes, he sells the shit out of it, you know what I mean? He's proper WWE style sold the manoeuvre. And rightly so, because you know you're going to get your opponent sent off for anything like that. So he's been sent off for a headbutt. You'd imagine that there'll be more of a disciplinary record or disciplinary action taken against him for something like a headbutt. And I'm hoping it doesn't translate over to Scottish football, and there's every chance it could. I think sometimes the organisations or the governing bodies of both countries sometimes come to some sort of agreement with FIFA, and they can get these things sorted out. So there's a chance he could come to Celtic with a suspension if he does sign for us. Hopefully not, but yeah, it was a bit of an altercation. Maybe they'll show some mercy on him, considering it looks the opposing player is the one that starts the confrontation. I think he actually engages in contact as well, so he's acted in retaliation. But it's nice to see that Celtic are signing a 100% bona fide certified nutter. But in relation to his potential transfer to Celtic, £3.75 million seems to be the asking fee from Lannis over in Argentina, which is a decent enough fee for a left-back who's probably going to come in and be our first choice ahead of Greg Taylor, you'd imagine. I mean, Greg Taylor's done a fantastic job and he deserves his opportunities, but I think that you're looking at someone here, young Argentinian left-back who is being looked at from a number of European clubs. He's got to come in with a big role to play. And surely that's him played his last game for Lannis. Even if he was to stay for the next game, he'll be suspended anyway. So I think he's maybe played his last game for the club. And yeah, it's good to know that maybe someone will be through the door very, very soon. Hopefully, one that we hear about this week also. His agent has commented on the situation as well. He's provided a little bit of an update towards the situation. He said, "We expect news in the next few weeks, but he is calm. He has the ability to play and be successful in Europe. Now is not the time to discuss names, but clubs are asking about him." Clubs is the word used there, which I don't like, which shows there could be more than one club of interest in Europe, but hopefully Celtic are the ones leading that race. The other thing is, it says next few weeks. Now, that obviously goes completely against what the record was saying. It was a few hours, according to them, but the agent's saying a few weeks. Once again, you've just got to be waiting and patient, I think, and hopefully more updates and more sort of developments come to us in good time. And finally, the last sort of news that we want to talk about in today's video is the leaked home kit. The home kit images have spread, and I'm not a fan. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I'm not a fan, and I've got a wee bit of a rant to go on. A lot of people like quote retweeting and replying to my tweet about it being bad, saying, "What can you do with green and white hoops anyway?" Like, a lot, you know. There is a very, I never understand that. I know that the Celtic home kit is always going to stay green and white hoops. I'm not saying change that, but there is a different, there is clear differences between a good home shirt and a bad away shirt, good green and white hoops and bad green and white hoops. You can have the beautiful number of 1998 fantastic home shirt up against the 2015-16 humdinger that was stinking, and nothing alike, very different, yet they're both green and white hoops. So there is stuff you can do to make the shirts better or worse, blah blah blah. And I'm not a fan of the leaked shirts so far. I'm looking forward to seeing the kind of modelled images and everything else, and hopefully the real version. I don't know if this is a Turkey bring back one, but I think it's the closest example we've got so far to our home shirt. I'd imagine this is pretty much it. Just not a fan. I think this is a shirt that has so much potential, because I love the pattern and the gradient through the green and the hoops, but the collar looks bad. The silver on the sleeves makes no sense. The staff a bit is huge. I'm just not a fan of it at all, and I feel like it's another letdown of a home shirt from Adidas. They've been cracking with the away numbers, but the home ones have been disappointing, and I think this is another one. So yeah, not too pleased with it, but hopefully it'll grow on me when I see the better and the real images and stuff, rather than one line on somebody's fucking carpet flare. And that is me for today. That's your update. That's your roundup, you could say. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And we'll be back tomorrow with a video, as I said, before I go on my holidays this week. So yeah, if you've enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.